Overpopulation. To fill with an excess number of people, strain on available resources and facilities. A very cut and dry definition to a topic that is anything but. Published between 1798 and 1826, author Thomas Malthus brought into light a Nostradamuc undertone with the introduction of his publications titled An Essay on the Principles of Population. Possibly not prepared to accept such an extreme thinker in his day and age, Malthus found himself a hugely controversial character in the public's eye. Malthus placed the longer-term stability of the economy above short-term expediency. He was an advocate of the population trends being dependent on the fluctuations of the presence of poverty. Does today's society view Thomas Malthus' echoing predictions as a possibility?
The immigration's a problem, everyone's coming in, everyone's living longer, everyone's like getting healthy, everyone's living longer, that's a problem.
Population right now is 6.3 billion, and by 2050 it's supposed to be around 10 billion, so definitely a serious problem. People don't really recognize that right now, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a significant issue.
When looking at predicted population rise trends, as opposed to industrialized countries, developing countries seem to boom at more of an exponential rate. According to current projections, the world's population is anticipated to reach 9 billion people by 2040 and could reach around 11 billion people by 2050. What does this mean for the future standards of living, when resources are currently being depleted at an exponential rate, while the demands for natural resources are simultaneously increasing? It is projected that the depletion of the global natural resources are to the point that costs of excavation exceed their marketability. This will likely be achieved within the next 25 to 35 years. Within the next 55 years, the prices of oil, natural gas, hydrogen, and coal resources will become significantly inflated as their availabilities decrease. Other shortages to be expected will include water, land, and food, which may contribute to mass pollution and overall devastation to the natural environment. The economic repercussions will be more profound than anything experienced by humanity before. Let's look to the root of the population problem, which can be summed up in one word. Overpopulation is caused by more people. More people are caused by... Yep, you guessed it. Sex. The recreational root of all evil in this problem. Realizing that the thought of abstinence may frustrate some viewers, we shall take a different approach. Sexual education. When approaching this topic, one must not solely focus on what is being taught, but whose responsibility it is to pass down this knowledge as well.
The parents should have a responsibility to teaching sex ed, but also the school system should. I know some parents, like my parents, were kind of scared to talk to me about it, so like the school system can just go further in debt with it.
Perhaps this topic is being wrongly approached as a taboo, and not getting the attention it deserves in hopes of remaining in the boundaries of political correctness. This issue leads us directly into the topic of possible solutions. In many parts of the world, including the United States, the issues associated with overpopulation are not yet being felt, until the problem of overpopulation and the warning signs of future complications are being largely ignored or at least subverted as a less pressing issue. However, in some regions, particularly in Asia, the harsh realities of overpopulation are already being felt. Many people are reduced to poor living conditions and left to live in poverty and destitution, oftentimes not even knowing where the next meal will come from. In an attempt to actively alter the birth-to-death ratio, China, India, and Japan have already implemented harsh regulations to manage overpopulation in their countries. But as harsh as they may seem, is it really enough? Many people today are too morally opposed to consider extreme methods of solving this enigma. But if this problem were to get extremely out of hand in the future, how many of us would be found setting aside those morals to suddenly find ourselves in favor of euthanasia? Perhaps pro-war, pro-famine, or even pro-disease.
'Cause if we were to do like what the Chinese are doing, like morally, I don't think that's right. You know, you can only have one child. You know, who says you can only have one child? You know, and I don't find that right. So I wouldn't give up any morals or anything like that.
This is why the overpopulation problem is rightfully labeled as a conundrum. The fact that there are solutions, but how many people would truly be advocates?
Euthanasia, stuff like that, all those programs I would be in favor of. I would advocate every one of those actually. It's not that I'm cynical or I'm against life or something like that. It's just that I think that overpopulation is such a significant issue that we have to do whatever we can to address this problem.